It's shower day. This is a shower of the week day. I remember that.
Thank goodness.
I'm gonna see people on this day, so it's time to take a shower and get ready.
And I'm wearing makeup for the first time in probably a week as well.
I'm not, so that's good. That's good. We're good to go.
Oh my goodness.
You didn't call me today about what we were supposed to wear.
Are you sure?
I checked my text messages. I don't see anything. And
My bad.
this is, I think, the first time we've been on here and haven't matched. And that's probably a good thing.
Probably. I mean, they do need a couple of different, personalities at schools.
Different looks up here. But it's been a week since we've been on with you guys. And this week we're just kind of talking a little bit as we build an audience. And we're going to bring some parents on and some different people to give you a little bit of a different perspective of Winston-Salem Christian School. We're paid to talk about Winston-Salem Christian School, but our parents aren't. And so they will give you guys a glimpse, just a little bit about who we are as a school. We have some pretty cool setups today because it's not just parents. Who else is going to be here?
We have some lower school kids and some middle school kids, and we have parents of high school age children, and we have a teacher with us today. So we are our lower school teacher with us today, Iris Thompson. So we are really excited about giving you a glimpse at all the levels and opportunities that we have here at school. So are you ready to get started?
And then two big announcements.
Yeah, and two big announcements like we promised last week at the end of today's question and answer period. So
before we start kicking off and talking to different parents, we want to remind you of two things. One would be if you have a question, fill it out, write it in the comments, and will be a question and answer time at the very end that you can have answered, and we will do our best to answer any questions that you guys have.
Especially about the admissions process.
Yes. And then the second thing is there's a link to a form that if you fill that out, we will actually announce who wins a prize next week. Now, saying that reminds me that we didn't figure that out for this week.
Oh, well, I don't think we offered any sweepstakes this week,
so
I think you're fine. Unless somebody needs some toilet paper, I think we'll
give that away.
Yeah.
But so to do those two things as we kick this off, ask questions in the comments, and then make sure that you fill out that form so that we can continue to follow up with you about the experience at Winston-Salem Christian School. So,
get your watch parties going out there too, Winston-Salem Christian School friends. I mean, the Facebook has an awesome platform now where you can pull in all kinds of people to watch this live with you this week and moving forward.
Very cool. Well, I think now we've built an audience of at least two people, and hopefully, and then we will kind of begin our platform today. So why don't you introduce our first family that's going to come up on camera with us?
This first family is one of my favorite families at WSCS, and all the other people out there that I just offended, I would say the very same thing about you. But this is Kim and Benny Beardsley. Benny is a 5th grader at Winston-Salem Christian School. Hey, Kim. Hey, Benny.
Hello.
Hi. How are you all?
We're good. We're doing very good, thank you.
You enjoying your time at home together?
Yeah. For the most part.
That is an honest answer. I like that. I would say the same for myself.
Benny is a smart man right there. You're raising a smart guy, so I know it's hard to keep him entertained the whole time, right?
It is, but we worked out a routine. I think that's been the key to making it work, is having a set schedule every day. So he's able to knock out his schoolwork in the morning, and then he can have PE and rest time in the afternoon, and it works well.
Lots of PE going on at the Beardsley house, I bet. What's Benny? What's been your favorite part of being at home so far?
Being able to stay with my dogs mostly, but being able to get food whenever I want and go I can knock out all my schoolwork and have the rest of the afternoon off.
Well, awesome. We miss seeing you around campus though. Benny, what's one of your favorite parts of Winston-Salem Christian School?
One of my favorite things about Winston-Salem Christian School is that it has a good program, and it's always fun to be playing sports because I'm played 5 sports since I was at a young age, and I just love playing sports.
What's your favorite sport to play at Winston-Salem Christian School?
Soccer, definitely soccer.
Good choice.
Good choice, man. Is there anything specific about soccer that you enjoy?
Being able to play goalie, and because other leagues that I was in where there were better goalies than me, and they also probably needed on the offensive side than the defensive side. So being able to play as a goalie in Winston-Salem Christian School, great.
That's an awesome answer, Benny. I mean, just your answer is showing us that we have both competition and the ability to just participate in something and to be able to try out different skill sets in that. That's pretty awesome. Kim,
Yes.
I know you already talked about distance learning, so I know that you're pretty much over that, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm very blessed. I have very minimal intervention, except for the little bit that we had to do get used to Zoom. That was new to us. But other than that, he has been very responsible, and I really attribute that to Winston-Salem Christian School because he's been very responsible and take charge, and I have had to do very little.
Well, that's awesome. How long have you been dropping Benny off at Winston-Salem Christian School?
We started Benny at Winston-Salem Christian School with the TK program, which is transitional kindergarten, because he was right at the edge of the start time for kindergarten with the public schools. And so since he would have been a very young kindergartner, everybody I'd talked to said with boys, you need to wait, you need longer to mature before you put them into school. And I found Winston-Salem Christian School had transitional kindergarten program, which academically I knew he was ready for. So it was an opportunity for him to experience kindergarten without actually starting the clock on his school years. And then additionally to that, I had found out they had recently expanded the program to go all the way to the 12th grade. And so for us, we really liked the idea that it was a place that he could potentially graduate with kids that he went to kindergarten with. So it's a unique opportunity in that way too.
That was really wonderful. I didn't realize that Benny had been there since TK, but I knew that he had been there a while. We watched him grow up and become a noble young man. We're excited about Benny's future at Winston-Salem Christian School, and we're grateful for parents like you, Kim.
Well, thank you. Yes, we really liked it. It's a tight-knit community. My husband and I both went to small schools, and we liked for him to have that experience as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We won't keep you here any longer.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, y'all.
We miss you guys. Take
We
care.
miss you too.
Bye.
Our next family coming up is going to give you a glimpse of a family that is fairly new to Winston-Salem Christian School. Deacon Shotwell is going to join us with his dad, Blake Shotwell.
Hey.
And hey, how are you guys doing? And Deacon is new here this year. Deacon, how you surviving distance learning so far?
It's pretty easy. But sometimes you have questions to the teachers, and it's easy in the way that how the teachers reach out to you and explain what you're supposed to do and what assignments you're supposed to do, and like what time, if we have a Zoom call, what time our Zoom call starts, and it's been pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Neat. Well, this isn't the typical first year at Winston-Salem Christian School. Before all of this craziness started, why don't you tell us a little bit about just coming in as a new student? What was some of your favorite stuff here at Winston-Salem Christian?
Well, coming in as a new student, it's been I've enjoyed it, and like when I came here at first, I had been at public school for all my life, and I really didn't want to come to a private school because I was like, I'm gonna lose all my friends, and all that. And so, but when I came, I was like surprised at how kids are so just including, and they just invite you, and the teachers as well. The teachers are super nice, and how they help you learn and get through whatever you need. And so just coming was an amazing experience, and I would like, for anyone who's planning on coming, I would recommend it. Yeah.
Thanks,
Well,
Deacon.
hey, Deacon, we are really glad that you came here. You are a delight to be around, and it's been really enjoyable to get to know you as part of the Shotwell family, and so we're thankful that you did that.
Thank you.
And you're joined by Dad today. Dad is wearing a Cardia shirt that is part of our house system. It is this, I would say, second or third best house.
At least.
And, but
I thought we had like restrictions on what we could wear in these meetings.
you know, the Shotwells are not a new family to Winston-Salem Christian School. You have Kate that's been here a little bit longer than Deacon. And so why don't you talk a little bit about, as a parent, what are ways that you can get involved with Winston-Salem Christian School?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is that the culture of the school creates an environment that allows us to get involved. You know, not to take away from the public school system, but there's very limitations once you send your kid to middle school. In elementary school, parents are really involved. In public schools, they can be there and be the room mom or whatnot. But when you hit the middle school, it's almost like you release the kid to the school system, and you don't know who their friends are. You don't know you don't know their contact. You don't know a lot about them. That's definitely different here, where I have most of the teachers' phone numbers in my phone, where we text, or there's a relationship there. I really enjoy the Spirit Week, like the Cardia, supporting them and being involved and doing Hunt for the Lion with the kids, where you can participate and just be involved in the spirit activities going on at the school. The PTA is an opportunity to get involved. I personally am a hands-on guy, so I've enjoyed the fact that we're changing schools and seeing you guys at the new building. I'm excited about the new building. Oh, I just realized you're at the building.
Yeah. We are.
But you know, I put this kid to work there, and I think it's just good for parents and kids to interact and work and build something together that's going to be the future. And I think this, thinking back when I was a kid, that when my dad involved me and engaged me and was included in my journey, whether it be through sports or whatnot, it was more meaningful for me. Also, I got involved this year as assistant coach of the soccer team. Benny was an excellent goalie, so, as he just talked about. But being involved in the sports, whether it be attending or assisting or some type of team mom manager aspect, is good. And then also, I got to go. I'm looking forward to going on a mission trip to Belize, and just being a parent chaperone there as well. So there's lots of activities and lots of ways to get involved. To me, it's the culture that has created that opportunity and something unique. You really can't define, and I could talk a lot longer about it, but I'll just stop now and let you guys go.
You guys have been amazing. The Shotwells were up here this weekend doing some social distance painting. Work keeps going on here at the Patterson property. If you're hearing things out in the hallway, it's because it's a construction zone that we're taping in, and so it's parents, it's volunteers, and lots of different elements. So we really appreciate the Shotwell family and the work that you've put in here, and enjoy having you guys here at Winston-Salem Christian School. So thanks so much for sharing with us. We'll let you guys get back to your routine here at home, but we miss you guys. We love you all, and can't wait to have you back here on campus.
Yep, we'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right.
Deacon lights up any room he's in.
He is.
That's one of the best smiles I've ever seen. The next family that that's gonna join us in just a second, they have triplets.
Triplets. I can't imagine social distance learning for triplets in
And-
first grade.
Oh yeah, and a fourth grade daughter. So we're gonna welcome Jason and Natalie East with us.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you
Hey,
guys?
guys.
Natalie, it's good to see your face.
Good to see you too.
I haven't seen you in a couple of days. Do you remember the last time you saw me?
You came over and gave us a sign and said hello, and we really appreciated it.
Oh, well, it was really good for me to see you and the boys and see Mom and just have a minute with some of the people who we take for granted that we see them every day, and then we go weeks at a time without seeing them. It's almost like you're missing family. So it was good to see you. We missed Jason. I think we missed him he had just hopped in the car, I think, at that point. So
I did. My kids called me and they says, "Dad, they came to see us." And I said, "Who came to see you?" And they were telling me they were so excited. Natalie was too.
oh, that's awesome. It was good to see you. Natalie, what's your favorite part about Winston-Salem Christian School?
I like pretty much all of it, but one of my favorite times is chapel every Friday, and the fifth graders lead it, and sometimes we have a guest speaker, and it's just so fun.
That's awesome. Chapel is it always is such an awesome, energizing experience. We are having, were you able to attend the Zoom chapel this past week?
I don't think we did, but we have attended one.
Okay, awesome. We can't wait to see your face in Zoom chapel coming up soon, where we praise and worship over Zoom together as a lower school. Jason, how are you?
We're doing well. We're holding up.
Talk to me about this distance learning with first graders and fourth graders.
Well, as you mentioned, we have triplet first graders. And I think after this time, I have learned that maybe I have a calling to be a teacher, possibly. No, it's amazing. We are overwhelmed at how well the teachers have transitioned. This was a big thing for all schools, especially our school, and for everybody to jump on board and utilize all of the technology, whether it be Zoom or Facebook or emailing and texting. I have not felt that that I'm out of the loop. I feel like we're communicated with well by the teachers, and they sent multiple packets out for work to do and encourage different schedules. And of course, Natalie has Miss Quave, who's been doing an amazing job with her Zoom classes. And so Natalie kind of functions on her own. She does so good, doesn't need a lot of help from us. The triplets, not so much. But we have the great, mighty Miss Bishop. And I will say this, she is going to make sure that these kids continue learning and growing. We have so many projects, but we're kind of like the Kim and Benny were mentioning. We have a routine. We get up in the morning and we hit it, we have a good breakfast, and then we hit it hard and heavy, and we get our work done. And then the afternoons, they get to play and have fun. And so we've made the best out of it. It's taken a few weeks to get into a routine, but you guys have been great in communicating and providing us more than enough work to do. So we're grateful for that.
Well, we're grateful for parents stepping up into that position too, because this was not what you had anticipated for your fourth quarter at Winston-Salem Christian School. So parents have been doing an excellent job. So a lot of grace for us and a lot of grace for you guys, because this is just something that's been really uncertain, but I think everybody has just knocked it out of the park so far.
Yeah.
Everybody's been great with it. I can relate. Our kids are in the same classes. What insect project are your boys doing?
Yeah. So we have we can show you, we've been working on them. They're right here. Let me grab one of them.
You're gonna show me up because I wouldn't have anything to show you for Tyler's right now.
All right, so hey, we're really proud. This is our ant,
That is
Whoa.
impressive.
and it's made of spoons and little foam balls. But this one's really cool. This is our grasshopper,
Wow.
That is awesome.
and that's made out of a paper towel holder. We had fun. We actually turned this into a big daddy work day. We sit around and came up with a bunch of trash and try to like make insects out of it and get creative. And Miss Bishop has definitely challenged us. I will just be honest. We have worked really hard, but we feel so loved and supported by her and Miss Quave, and we don't feel alone in this battle.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Well, we miss you guys. I know
We miss you too.
My kids miss your kids tremendously, and we look forward to having you back on campus at some point. But it was great to at least talk to you in this setting.
Yes, we can't wait to see you guys again.
Thanks.
Our next person here doesn't need any introduction around Winston-Salem Christian School. She has taught several different of our lower school grades. She's actually started her teaching career in our early learning center. She is here as a teacher, but also as a parent of a lower school student, a middle school student, and a high school student. So I'd like to welcome and hopefully bring to the screen Iris Thompson.
And coach.
And she coaches too. She does it all. How are you, Iris?
Hi. Good. How are you guys?
We are doing well.
Well, thank you for that introduction. That was
You
wonderful.
wear a lot of hats here at the school.
And you don't realize it. I'm just so excited to actually be on this call. I was actually a paying parent before, as you mentioned, before working here. And so God has just continued to open doors for me. Talk about wanting to walk in your calling. I never would have thought this would have been my calling, but certainly I'm here. I love it every day. It is not a job for me. I'm so blessed to be able to wake up with my kids, ride to school with them, see them, even though they come in for money, with snack cards, or, ride to things, to games and things like that and practices. But, just being here with my family is such a blessing. And as a parent, having a child in lower school, middle school, and high school, sometimes it is a bit overwhelming, but I'm thankful for my journey, because I have been through each of the sections as a parent. And so I'm always able to hear a parent's concerns and maybe sometimes offer some uplifting words or even just my own experiences with them. I love that as a parent, the school has the same common goal that we all do as Christians. And that is a village is to build our children up, to be equipped to handle what is in this world. For that, for all the different sections from kindergarten or preschool all the way up. We have lots of teachers that have that same common goal here. The administration staff will be so personable with your children. They will form those relationships with them. And so for that, I am very, very thankful for that.
And one of the things I've talked a lot about with my own kids is we're not a perfect community, but I love the fact that every single person that works there knows that eternity matters for my kids. And so that's something that we talk about a lot at home. In all of your different roles, coach, parent, teacher, kind of what are some of your favorite things about Winston-Salem Christian School?
Well, one thing with the Christ-centeredness, I do love the fact that the teachers, the administrative staff, even with my own personal goals, that, there is an extension of grace here. There's also mercy with the expectation on maintaining those standards with the excellence of behavior. So I do see that with the upper school, even though I am a lower school teacher. But, we get new students in, whether it's a student that has, like Benny, has come all the way through, it's still that standard that you can maintain. So that, I would think, is one of my favorite things that I get to witness every day. But in terms of activities or sports, I love sports. That's my number one thing. I think that sports teaches so many different things for students and children to just have the motivation, the just the wherewithal the things that you would experience in the world if you didn't have sports. Sometimes, you know, you'd have to learn that later in life. Teamwork, perseverance, just so many, self-esteem, just so many different things. So sports for me would be my number one. I mean, I play sports as well. Second would be the love for reading that our school has. Teachers, they come up with their own little mixes to put in. Dr. Seuss Week was a fun week for us. Just putting our own touch on academics. I mean, there's so many things, but my favorite, I know you asked me what my favorite was. I have lots of favorites. I love the people here. We're all kind of with that one common goal, and just, we're a village. It really does take a village to love on these kids and to just pray with them. In the middle of class, you can just stop and say, okay, you know what, I think we need to pray. And so that's one of on the teaching side of that, that's one of the things that has really been instrumental. In third grade, I've moved from kindergarten to third grade. So it was a big jump, but you know, God works at every age. And so I've seen a lot of growth here when you transition from the younger age over to the, I guess, tween age, when they're trying to make sense of all this. And just to know that God doesn't leave them, He never forsakes them. And so it's just the spirit of that throughout this building. And it just oozes when you walk through the door. It's just the feeling that you have. And so in and out of every hallway, every classroom. And so those are some of my favorite things, but I do have a lot. I could talk all day. So.
That's awesome.
That's why you're one of my favorite people.
And kids doing well?
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Are your kids doing well?
Yes, they are. Yeah, they're doing well with the distancing. You know, it took some time to get on the schedule. My two older ones sleep in a little bit, so by the time Justin and I are finished with our computer in lower school, printing off everything, then they're waking up, and then it's their turn. So I would like to speak. Ms. Quave has really done well with the organization, all the new technology. I've learned lots of technology. Some takeaways that I will be implementing on next year, even though we're not doing distance learning. But with the upper school teachers, this new technology things, the media has been so fun. Making these videos, I've been introduced to TikTok. So kudos to Ms. Martin with these creative ways to get grades in and assignments throughout the distance learning. So
I do think, while this is certainly not something we would have planned for, that our teachers are going to be better teachers next year because of the tools that they've learned in the midst of this distance learning. So I think that'll be something that just kind of improves us as a school. So I'm excited to see that next year as well. But it's been great to see you, and we miss seeing you and your kids around campus, and we hope that you guys are doing well, and hope to see you back here soon. But we appreciate you coming in and sharing a little bit.
And he's going to work on the Macarena for our next TikTok video.
I was terrible. I was the worst in the world. You guys were mean to me.
We'll give you a pass.
You, Miss Wallace, and I will collaborate. Get him something that
Can we find something easier for me?
Yeah, we'll make it so. We'll pull it down for you.
Great to see you, Iris.
Have a good one, Iris.
Bye.
We have one more parent that's going to come on and join us. She's going to get a chance just to share a little bit about her role as a parent here. She has two boys, and we are excited to bring Miss Abby Hedgecock. Hey, Abby.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
How are you?
Hi.
You've seen Abby the last couple of weeks. We would like for her to start off telling us all how distance learning is going at the Hedgecock Home.
Well, when you have two very active boys who would much rather be barefoot outside running around or shooting basketball, getting them to get through school has been an interesting journey for us. But what I will say, Ms. Thompson, Branson, my youngest, actually has Ms. Thompson. We've had the great privilege of having her twice now in kindergarten and now in third grade. She has been wonderful at giving Branson a lot of grace with the areas that he struggles in, and I quite simply don't know how to teach him to where he excels. And so she has been wonderful at giving me a lot of wisdom and advice and grace, grace abundant. And so one of the wonderful things too that my kids have benefited from has been the extra time to be able to learn in areas that they're interested in. Science is really big for both of my boys. And so there's so many great online resources out there available to us as parents right now that you can utilize. And they're free. Normally in the past, they would have cost money to be part of. And so Cameron, my oldest, wants to be a shark conservationist. So literally every day we have watched shark webinars. And Mrs. Quaid, who is his teacher, has been very gracious to let him hop on different Zoom call times because there might be a live webinar to which he really wants to participate in with a shark conservationist. And she's like, sure, just hop on the 11 o'clock call, no big deal. So that part has been really great, that we've been able to extend so much flexibility to us as parents to let our kids really use this time to pursue the things that get them excited that could one day lead to a career. I also want to give a huge shout out to our specials teachers that created a wonderful specials bingo. We have finished. I've actually got to take a picture and send it to Mrs. Martin. But that was great because I don't feel like we lost any speed or momentum with the different specials that they're able to participate in. My boys love specials, and so it's been great to also still be able to do art and music, technology, and certainly PE. So all of that's been good. We have a schedule and a routine. Our biggest challenge is just the noise that's in our house with our dogs and my husband being on conference calls all day. So it's been interesting and different, but it's been good. I'm grateful for our teachers and our staff just really kind of bonding together over this and realizing, you know what, we'll get it. And it's not, if we don't get it done today, we'll get it done tomorrow. And it's okay.
Exactly.
So,
Abby, guess
yeah.
what? Guess what, Abby?
What?
So we just found out that Angela Potter, one of our favorite families, one of our favorite moms, has a watch party going on right now on
Awesome.
Facebook. So for her and the people who have joined her and watching, can you talk to us briefly about the next steps in the admission process?
Yes, of course. So let me just, for all of our current families that are watching, I do want to make a quick plug that re-enrollment is still open. However, several of our classes are on a wait list only right now, which is really a huge, huge blessing for us as a school. But I do want to encourage you, time is of the essence with re-enrollment. And so we want to keep all of our families with us. So please, please, please log on, re-enroll. I'm happy to walk you through the process. It's really quick and painless and easy. So just to make that quick plug. And then as far as the application process, we have tried to streamline that and make it as simple as possible and as easy as possible right now while we are all in extenuating circumstances. So the first step, after you watch this, log on to our YouTube channel. We have virtual tours available that you can get a little bit better insight into our school. And then log to our website and go to the admissions tab and click apply now, and that will take you through our application process. It's a very simple application form. It is going to ask for your student to provide some answers to some questions. So we want to not only get to know the family, but in particular get to know your student. After that, I will connect with you via email, or certainly I'm available and willing to chat with you by phone as well. And then we will work on getting some version of school records that you would possibly have access to, and family interview and enroll. So it's a very simple, straightforward process. And then our goal is, once all of the quarantine fun is done, that we will be able to host some tours at our new location, because we know not only our current families, but our prospective families are, of course, want to see what the school facilities will look like. And so we will, just as soon as we have the green light to do all of that, we'll be setting up some of those. But in the meantime, we, much like Ms. Thompson mentioned, we are able to use all of these wonderful technology tools. And so every week we are hosting parent panels and student panels where current parents are giving of their time to talk to prospective parents. And then we have current students doing the same with prospective students. And so if you're interested at all in participating in those, I would just encourage you to shoot me an email or fill out the form down below, and I will be happy to get in touch with you and get you an invite to either of those events. But I'm here to answer any questions you have whatsoever, and just look forward to connecting with all of you very soon.
Is it Abby.Hedgecock at WS?
Abby.Hedgecock@wschristian.com. Hedgecock is an awful last name. I like my maiden name much better. It's easier to spell.
Abby, it's good to see you.
Great to see you.
We'll catch up with you later.
Good to see you guys too.
Hey, you know what? I was really encouraged the other day when I opened up RenWeb to look in and see that there were so many new inquiries and applications started for the school, and that's new students. And so what that means is that we have some classes that are starting to fill up.
They are. My brother and his family are moving up here, and they have a 5th and 8th grader that are coming here next year as well. And I literally told him last night, hey, you better finish your application because those are 2 of our classes that are filling up quickly. And
It looked like 2nd grade was filling up quickly, 5th grade and 7th and 8th grade were filling up pretty quickly. So we're really excited to welcome all of our returning Lions and new Lions back to campus. So I think it's time for some questions and
yeah, let's see if there are any questions and answers. So what are your class sizes? How many classes per grade? So we'll take classes per grade first. We are a pretty intimate community, and so we have for K through 5, it is 1 class per grade, and those are capped at 20 students. And in the upper school, it's a little bit different because it's not a class per grade, but all of our upper school classes are typically capped at 20 students as well. If there's some classes like a choir or a PE that can be expanded beyond that, they will a little bit. But our desire is to have a pretty intimate interaction with students and teachers. And so most of those classes are capped at 20 students per class.
we are intentionally small to make sure that every kid feels like they belong to the community and that they have interaction with adults every single day.
Any other questions out there for us? What curriculum do you use?
Well, for lower grades, we use Journey's curriculum. That's a Houghton Mifflin curriculum, I'm pretty sure. And for math, we use Saxon Math.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it, we use a pretty eclectic approach. We'll use some secular textbooks and some Christian texts with the goal to always present a biblical Christian worldview through whatever we're teaching. We certainly have guidelines and expectations of our teachers. But one of the things that you're being able to see right now with the distance learning piece, there are a ton of resources that are out there and available. And so we have our set textbooks that go all the way through for teachers to use. But our teachers also have a lot of autonomy to pull in other resources with always looking to draw things back to that Christian and biblical worldview for our students.
And that's where creativity happens in the classroom, is when the teacher is not handicapped by a certain goal or a certain objective or a certain curriculum, but has flexibility within the standards that's presented. How much technology is used to teach with?
A lot right now.
Yeah. One of the really cool things about Winston-Salem Christian School is we have an excellent IT department, and we have every room is equipped with a projector that is connected to an Apple TV, and we have 2 roaming iPad carts. We have 2 iPad classroom, or I mean iMac classrooms. So we use a lot of technology to teach with.
I think the biggest thing is it's a huge resource that's available to our students and to our teachers. And so while it's not the focus of what we do, it is absolutely a resource that's present for all of our students. I think can't get too far ahead of us for next year, but I know we are going to have some opportunity for students to buy their own technology at a discounted rate in terms of having access to their own laptop, but it's not a requirement. And so you'll see it everywhere. It's used a lot, but it's used as, it's not the focal point, but it is certainly a resource for students and teachers. Anything else? Oh, we got another one.
Oh, any updates on the Patterson property progress or to-do list? Hey, Sharon.
How are you, Sharon? How are the Kellers doing? There is an email that's going to go out by the end of this week that actually talks about a couple social distancing projects that families could come on and do. You heard me allude to the conversation with the Shotwells earlier, that they were here doing some painting this weekend. Almost all of the lights are finished. You can see we're in the all new lights in here with the LED lights. And so we're going to be moving towards some outdoor projects coming up here. And so there'll be a list to our current families that are going out in terms of projects that they can do here while we're down, while we're limited to number of people that can be present. But it's been busy. We've used this time well to start moving some of the things that we can move at this time. I mean, huge shout out to Mr. Michael and Mr. Joseph and the Kingsley King for they have done a tremendous job packing up and moving. Our teachers have been in and packed up things that they could do, and so we are moving quickly along with this transition. And you can see we are sitting in what will be next year's 5th grade class. And so you can get a glimpse of the classroom and what's going on here.
And as we speak, there's construction going on just outside the door. We hear we have code base going down. The burn rooters are here right now, changing light fixtures in the lower school classrooms. And then most of the upstairs classrooms have moved their desks and chairs and everything over. So there's quite a bit of progress happening over here. It looks really. It
looks like a school.
It looks like a school.
And that's
awesome.
exciting. Bob Dahmer's here today. So there's lots of work that's happening in terms of just completing this transition. And we're excited to get to the point where we can open up the doors and let families walk through and see. I don't think, while the virtual tours are great, I don't think they do justice to everything that's going on here. And so that's been an exciting thing for us.
So I think that was the last question.
That's the last question.
Oh, let's go.
But
See y'all later.
you guys ready? I think we have an announcement. We have 2 announcements to make, right?
I have 2 announcements.
You have 2 announcements to make.
We have, yeah.
So let's start. Why don't you start with one of the announcements that we're going to do?
Well, I mean, this is probably one of the worst kept secrets ever, since we tried to launch it last year and it just didn't take footing. But we are moving forward right now with the implementation of a men's national program and a post-grad program. So we are busy with enrollment for national players right now, and we are really excited about the stage that this is going to put Winston-Salem Christian basketball on. And it's just been an amazing ride so far, being able to interview potential new athletes that are already, it is already evident to me that these kids in the national program are going to raise the level of spiritual maturity and academics in our upper school. And I am, and I didn't even know that could happen. So I am really excited about the implementation of a men's national team.
So what does that mean for kind of everything else in terms of what does basketball look like next year?
So it looks, the schedule has just gotten a little crazier, but it also means that our varsity teams will also be on a bigger stage than they were last year. It will be very much like what happened with the National Girls implementation this year. It brought an opportunity for our varsity girls to be seen on a grander stage by coaches from Big 10, Big 12, ACC, and have them being recruited by the top schools in the country, not just local schools. So we are.
So the last big question was, who's going to coach this thing?
We'll let you know next week.
Oh, another thing we have to wait for. But that's exciting for Winston-Salem Christian School. I think it's exciting for our current basketball programs that are present and the way that they impact and just kind of raise that level of expectation and the college coaches that'll be through here. And just the fun. It's been fun to watch our girls national team this year. What was their highest ranking with ESPN this year?
I believe with ESPN it was 9.
They got to ninth in the nation. So that's some pretty amazing basketball coming out of a pretty small school. But probably more amazing than their basketball. They're just an amazing group of girls. But academically, just what they bring to the table here at Winston-Salem Christian School.
And I think that is also attributed to the coaches that we have put into place in all of these programs this year. I cannot tell you the caliber of coaching that these kids are getting right now, and it's from coaches who care about the kids as well. So
that's awesome. So that's one big announcement. And boys national team. You got a second big announcement for us?
I do have a second big announcement for you, and I'm really excited about this, like nerdily excited.
Nerdily excited.
I don't know
that nerdily is a word,
well,
but
it
that's
is
all right.
now.
Yeah.
Look it up now. Okay, it'll have my face right beside of it and this announcement. Like I'm really excited about this. We are going to add another varsity sport to Winston-Salem Christian School next year, and it is esports. We will be adding
Like esports, like it's a sport.
It's a sport.
All right.
It is nationally seen as a varsity sport. So what esports is, there are several different games and several different platforms and several different ages that we will be able to offer a gaming concepts class with that the kids could leave with a STEM certificate with, and just teach the sportsmanship, competition, and ethics of gaming. This has really been something that I've had time to look into, as you know, we are quarantined most of the time. And so the esports component, it's huge. It is on a grand scale. We have people watching in stadiums these days, esport players competing for tournaments, state championships,
Scholarship money.
Scholarship money.
Lots of scholarship money.
That's the huge thing right now. There are more scholarship dollars in esports right now than there are in actual sports at this time. So we are really excited about it. There is a link to it on our website right now. If you are a current student or you are a new student, incoming student, you can go over to our website right now, click the esports under athletics, and you will be able to do a quick survey to see, to help us understand what it is that we need to offer to you. And you also can look there for all kinds of information about the ethics and sportsmanship and skills that are taught through.
One of the things I like a lot about it, for those of you that may be skeptical of it, is that there is an academic component. The gaming concepts is a class that revolves around STEM, and I think it will just bring in another elective that will broaden the opportunities for our students. We have a social media post that's currently covering part of my face. That's up online now, and so we're just excited to see this opportunity for students and what it brings to the table at Winston-Salem Christian School.
I'm very excited.
Nerdily excited.
Nerdily excited about this new adventure that we are going on.
But we've enjoyed these times on Wednesday. Get a chance to at least virtually see some of you and hear from some of you. Please don't forget as you end this video to fill out the form in the bottom. If you fill out the form in the bottom, next week we'll have a drawing for some sort of clothing from our new school store and get a chance to get connected with Winston-Salem Christian School. Again, if you want to find out more information, Abby Hedgecock, our Director of Admissions, is the best bet to go, and it's abby.hedgecock@wschristian.com. And we look forward to next week, right?
We'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in.